How's it going? Welcome to our weekly live training where we help runners, swimmers, triathletes, and busy high achievers stay injury free, train smart, and finish strong without burning out, even if you're juggling work, life, and recovery. How you all doing? There you go. There's another echo there again. All right. Well, I'm Coach Shangri-La. I'm a two-time triathlon Guinness World Record holder, 48-time Ironman finisher, Ultraman finisher, and creator of Smart Training Method, keynote speaker, and high-performance triathlon and endurance coach. Really, really happy to be here because I'm here to share you proven strategies that will help you, okay, in your swimming. Because today's topic is swimming, and we do have this common and like really high demand question. And I just said, like, you know what? I'm gonna do a training today. All right, so that I can just help as many individuals. All right, so what is the question? Let me just share you the question here. Well, actually, I can just read it. Here you go. How do I fix my swim technique? Anyone here who have that same question? This technique is so confusing. I've been figuring it out because I was one of them. Okay. And if you don't know me just yet, I didn't know how to swim when I was a teenager. In fact, I didn't even have a swimming pool access. And honestly, I learned how to swim when I was in 30s. I thought that was late already until later on, once I become an expert in freestyle technique, I realized that even athletes or individuals in their 50s, 60s, and even those individuals or athletes who have been doing 70.3 and full Ironman, whew, I see their videos and oh my God, they're just missing out so much gains in their speed only if they actually work on the technique. All right. Well, let me show you because I actually prepare a PowerPoint presentation here. But before I get started, who's here live? Put hashtag live because I want to go back to my YouTube channel later on of who's going on live. I want to get to know you. Put under the comments, start typing it up because this one is your training. All right. I know I have a PowerPoint presentation here. I prepared it, put in like 3, 4 hours to put it together, besides the experience and expertise that I do have here. But definitely right now, I just want to get to know you. Where are you at? Okay, because we serve individuals in Australia, across the United States, Hawaii, Canada, Australia. Did I say Australia? And also India. All right. And so now I want to know, like, where are you at in your swimming? Okay. Have you been working on your freestyle technique? Put freestyle technique, gotta work now. Or maybe you've tried to work on it and you're like, you know what? I can't figure it out. Okay. Because when I was new back then, I know who here agree that freestyle is technical or swimming is technical. Put under the comment technical, confusing. I love swimming. Anyone here who loves swimming, put under the comment and probably, because a lot of individuals, they love swimming, but sometimes they're like, you know what? No one really taught me technique. Okay. So today we're going to tackle that one step by step. So everyone of all levels, even if you haven't even started swimming just yet, or even if you're just learning or trying to like, I really want to learn how to swim. That's something that at least I want to know when I'm in 50s or 60s. Okay. I want to at least, I've been seeing that lake, that ocean, or like if you live in Hawaii or you go to Hawaii or some warm water in Asia, like I've been seeing there. I always see there, or like I've lived wherein there's open water there, but I'm just scared because I don't know how to swim or I'm afraid to drown. Okay. And in fact, individuals who have not put their face in the water, they had trauma or drowning experience in the past when they were kids, guess what? This thing that I'm going to show you will help you. So it's not just for individuals who actually have races. These are for everyone. Because guess what? When you know freestyle technique, you have a much better understanding. You're not just going to the pool, hit and miss, doing some random workouts. When you truly understand what each body parts you're doing, I really honestly thought that swimming is just like, all right, I'm gonna go move my arms, all right, and I'm gonna kick and I'm gonna breathe. I really thought that was all about it. But once I really get in depth into freestyle technique, I realize no wonder it's hard. And today, you're going to see how we can make that much clearer. I'm going to go at it right now. Okay. So, again, this is your training. I really want you to be talking to me. And actually, we have Vineta behind the scenes helping me out and reading your questions. So, if there's anything that pop up, okay, that any question at all, or if you can relate to it, put under the comment the questions, anything, okay? Because I'm gonna collect those questions, and I promise you, if you're not in the Facebook group Unstoppable Ironman and Marathon Training group yet, I answer all the questions there as well. So, all right. So let's go at it because I know you guys are waiting for this one. Here you go. And here's the presentation. I hope say I see it. If you see my presentation here, okay, I put a lot of time in this one. How do I fix my freestyle technique? Okay, so now, all right. Well, so have you ever finished a swim thinking, why am I not getting faster? Why am I the same? Okay, and so now you're trying to figure out because you've been showing up to the pool and then now, but what you probably did not really understand yet is the freestyle technique. Okay. Because most triathletes, even very fit ones, and that includes me, back in the days, I was already doing 200-mile, okay, on the bike in one day. I was already an ultra runner also, doing back-to-back marathons or more than, a full marathon. And I was so annoyed. Like, what is going on? I can stay on my bike for at least 12 hours doing this double century rides. I can do back-to-back marathons. And here I am. I was struggling. I was struggling for just going to the pool one lap. And then when I see the workout, oh my God, I need to do 14 times of one lap of 25 yards. Who here can feel that? Okay. I was there because I didn't know technique. Okay. Well, the thing about it, all right, if we keep swimming with the same heat and technique, problems for months or years without realizing it, we're going to get stuck. And here's the real reason your technique hasn't improved. Because we are told, or maybe you came from running background or cycling background, right? I came from running background. I pick up cycling. Guess what? On both of those two sports, I do more, I improve. Of course, there's a lot more into it. But just like that simple, belief that I do more, I should be able to improve, right? I wish swimming is like that, but it's not. And I got blindsided and it took me a long time. Maybe I'll just do more, do more drills. I'll build more endurance. Or maybe I just need to to start lifting weights, which I did actually. Okay. And then, or maybe I just need to go over 2000. Maybe I just need to add more workouts. And that's what I was thinking. Who here can relate to that? Me too. Put under the comment if you can relate to that. Me too. I did that. What did you guys do? Okay. Well, guess what? But what if you're repeating the wrong technique over and over again? What if, what if you're repeating wrong technique over and over again? Because that muscle memory, that also works if you're doing the bad technique. Okay. So be careful. And a lot of athletes actually, they like, you know what? I want to do swimming, but I don't know. I'm nervous because I might just do the wrong technique. And guess what? I, until now, I feel the same. So, for example, we just moved, okay? We just moved in a new place and I wasn't able to swim for a month. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back to swimming and I'm going to put more laps. Guess what I did? I took out I said, I'm gonna capture and film myself and check my technique first because I don't want to practice the wrong technique. Even until right now, I still check my freestyle technique because I know that if I start swimming more and more and just lugging in yards every single day, several times a week, I still can instill bad habits. Okay. So, what if no one ever showed you what's your real limiter or how to fix it step by step? Well, today I'm going to show that to you. But definitely before I even go there, we want to really dig into like the mindset that goes with it. Okay. Because here, tell me, I want to know if this is one of your beliefs. Because guess just the thing about it, let me just be honest, you guys. Going through freestyle technique, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard, because you're gonna go to a learning curve, and sometimes it's so peak, and you might don't want it, and you could be like me, like, you know what, this doesn't make sense. Screw it. I'm just gonna go laps by laps by laps, and guess what? That's what I did for 2 or 3 years. I finished 70.3. I finished full Ironman because to me at the time, freestyle technique didn't work. So now, and mainly because I had some of the beliefs that I'm going to talk about here. All right. And I want you guys to say the key words if you can relate to it. Okay. So here you go. Most swimmers aren't slow because they're lazy. They're slow because they're following beliefs that feel true. And because they believe in it so much with those false beliefs, it is so hard for them to really stay on track of learning freestyle technique. So it's really important for you guys to identify if ever this is one of you guys. Common false belief. If I swim more, I'll naturally get faster. But guess what? Repeating the wrong pattern makes the wrong pattern permanent. Okay. Next one. I swam 1.2 miles before, so I'm good for the race day. Who here's are planners? You know, so I'm great in planning. Well, guess what? Half Ironman, 1.2 miles. I would plan it and then make sure at this month I should be finishing 1.2 miles. Don't get blindsided with that. Okay, because finishing the distance is not going to give you confidence when you are at the start line on your next race. It's not about the distance. Okay, because distance is not equivalent to technique, and technique is what gives you free speed. Technique is what makes you be efficient in the water, so you're not gasping for air, so you're not wasting energy. Okay, and endurance doesn't fix mechanics. Okay, endurance doesn't fix mechanics. It just makes you fit, right? Aerobically fit. But then, if your technique is bad, you are likely gonna have a hard time swimming. The next one that I always hear often is that, Coach, I use paddles and pool buoy. Okay, that count as the technique work. All right. So like I ask, are you doing technique? Coach, I use paddles and pull buoy. Oh, okay. Tell me more about it. How are you using it? Okay. Well, the thing about it is not about the toys that you use. It's about how you use it. And sometimes some athletes use it wrong. They become dependent on it, and that's not a good thing. I'm just gonna be honest also to you. We use paddles, pull buoy, fins, when I'm teaching our athletes technique. However, I'm very particular of why they're using it. They know how to use it and they know how not to use it. Okay. Because if you use it wrong, like for example, I'm just gonna use an example. Okay. You have pull buoy. Who here love pull buoy? Okay, get your legs up. Are you kicking your legs? Okay. Are you kicking when you're wearing pull buoy? Because if you're kicking, that's already wrong. Okay. They're just going to instill bad habits on that. Okay. That's just one of those things. Okay. You got to make sure you understand what these toys, these gears are for. Okay. All right. Moving forward. So you need to know how to use them. Okay. Next thing, very important. Okay. So you probably saw technique drill videos in YouTube, right? You try to copy that thing, okay? It looks good. Now you're like, I got this one because I'm moving back and forth. I got this one, coach. Well, moving back and forth, okay, doesn't mean that you're actually doing it correctly, okay? Because I've seen athletes going back and forth. And it could be like just freestyle going back and forth, but it doesn't mean that it's actually the right freestyle technique. So don't get blindsided. You still, even if you're going back and forth, you still need to make sure you're doing the technique drills correctly. Why? Because technique drills is the foundation. And if you're doing it wrong, it's going to carry you over to the bigger picture when you're integrating all the technique in freestyle. Okay? We're going to get back to that again with the foundation. The next one is here. I need an in person coach to fix my stroke. Well, I don't think that's true because I have athletes in Australia, Canada, UK, all right, across United States, Hawaii, Alaska, India, and getting faster within a month. Within a month, okay? And they did not see me in person. Okay. So is it in person? Well, because it's not, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. The thing is that research shows video feedback, even as asynchronous, okay, improves speed and stroke length more than random reps. Okay. And it's actually much better. And we're gonna go deeper on that as well. Why is it better? Okay, why is it better? I'm gonna show it to you next. Okay, next, I'm doing sprints, so I'm learning pacing. I'm I'm practicing my speed. Okay, well, sprinting with bad mechanics only reinforces bad mechanics. Okay, sprinting is good. Okay, but the next one is that it also depends on what distance you're training for. If you're sprinting, let's just say, all right, 25 sprints. Okay, but what if you're training for a half Ironman or a full Ironman? Is that enough? Okay. Because if you think about it, if you're training, who here are runners? I'm sure you're going to understand this. You know, if you're training for a half marathon or a full marathon, is sprint really going to make a big difference, right? And if your mechanics is not good, because the pacing doesn't mean that it's all about sprint. It's actually making sure that you're pacing right so that you can last long at a sustainable pace, right? So it's not just about sprint. Are you guys getting there? Or am I going fast? Okay. Put it in the comment, anything that's popping up, because I'm just going through it this one. Okay. I really want to make sure, okay, that any of these beliefs that you have, that let's crush that. Okay. Let's put that on the trash because that's not good for you. The next one. Swimming is the short part of triathlon. I should not worry about it. Swimming is the short part of the triathlon. I shouldn't worry about it. So therefore, I'm just gonna bike and run, and I'm just gonna swim one times. Okay, this can work for athletes who are really good in swimmers. But if you're like average or like you still gasping for air and you don't know freestyle technique, then my suggestion is that put time in it. And guess what? If you don't have races right now, you're done for the races. Well, this is the time for you to actually start focusing on your freestyle technique. So next year, you can focus on swim, bike, and run, and your swim, bike, and run are all in the good level. And you're thriving on all of them. You're not like hit and miss. Why am I going fast sometimes and sometimes I'm not? Because you want to just like peace of mind, right? When you know what you're doing, you're confident because bad swim, okay, ruins bike and run, okay? Elevated heart rate, poor breathing, early fatigue, and worse, if you're really a bad swimmer and you don't know proper technique or you suddenly like panic, you can't get back into the groove, then the trouble is that the cutoff time for half Ironman or full Ironman, okay, which is not good either. Okay, so now uh, like some athletes, they struggle and they're gasping for air. And they're like, I can't believe I did that. I will, they come to us like, they come to us, coach, I would not ever do that kind of swim on my full Ironman or another 70.3 because that's not a smart move. Okay. I'm gonna make sure my technique is good because they understand that technique will help them. Okay. All right, next move. All right, so the next one, YouTube drills should be enough. Okay. If drill, there's a lot of YouTube videos, drills. Okay. If a drill isn't broken down, okay, and it's just all you're seeing is the outcome, the big outcome, and not the step by step of how to actually do that particular technique drill, then you're likely missing the little nuances, the cues that will make that technique drill be good. Because if you're doing the technique drill wrong, it's going to carry over to the freestyle. So be careful. Okay. And the next thing also, you don't need to do all the technique drills. You got to understand first what you're fixing. You got to understand first where your technique is currently. And today I'm going to show you the steps of how to do that, okay? In a few minutes now. All right, because we're almost there. All right, breathing is just about turning your head. No. So like for example, are you having a hard time to breathe? Well, breathing, I just need to turn my left. I just need to do the Popeye. I just need to do the one goggle in the water. You guys heard that? So why is it not working? Why are you still gasping for air? Because breathing is not just about the head. You guys got that? Because breathing, okay, breathing timing controls body alignment, rotation, kick, and leg position. What you're feeling about your breathing or how you turn your head is only one thing, okay? It's more of what you see. It's more of the symptom, okay, or the effect. Now, the root cause could be something else. And that's why we need expert to actually look into your technique so that, you're really targeting of what you're trying to fix. Okay, moving forward. Put put hashtag value if you guys getting a lot from this. Okay, coach, that's me. Okay. All right. My legs sink because I need to kick harder. Okay. No. And that's where I got wrong too. My legs sink and therefore kick harder. Anyone here who had heard that from a coach? Kick harder, kick more, practice more kicking. Well, what if you're kicking wrong, right? You're just tiring yourself out. Because kicking is not just about kicking more, kicking hard. There's so much that I've gotten so like different people like telling me things. I was so confused because no, body alignment, head position, balance, and breathing timing can cause sinking legs, not just weak legs. And in fact, you don't really need to like kick hard. Okay. Of course, there's several kicking there. There's kick 6 beat, 2 beat kick. That's another topic. But I'm just saying, like just kicking harder is not just the solution. Okay. Next, I just need a stronger pull. Okay. But no, either. Okay. If you have a strong pull, but you have a dropped elbow or misaligned path, it will still slow you down. You guys getting this one? So there's a lot of misconception, and these are just the only things that I've gathered here. Anyone here who have you thought something is true and that was your belief then, and then now that you know better, okay? Hey, that was my belief then. Put it under comment. What are those? Because okay, if you start, okay, realizing, because this is the first step, if you're realizing that you had the false belief, then you can move forward instead of being stuck to doing the same thing. Because you probably are doing the same thing, trying to figure out your freestyle technique because some of these beliefs. Okay. All right. False belief makes swimmers work harder on the wrong things. That's why a lot of athletes are stuck because they're focusing on the wrong things. Fixing your freestyle starts by fixing what you believe about how technique actually improves. Okay. Now, by the way, if you stay long, okay, I'm gonna give you something today. Okay. Next, iceberg. You guys heard of this? Iceberg. Okay. Iceberg problem. What you see isn't what's breaking your freestyle. Okay. What most people focus on, stroke corrections, you think you need, obvious technique adjustment, there's fix your arm, kick less, what you can self-diagnose, surface level feedback. And I talk to a lot of athletes actually. Okay, so like I do a lot of free call, 15-minute free call with unstoppable athletes. And like I ask them like, so what do you see on this one? And then honestly, they say a lot of things that are so obvious. So guess what? When it's so obvious, they focus on that and they're wondering, why am I not improving? I thought I'm fixing it. But they're looking only at the tip of the iceberg or a lot of it is above the water. Tip of the iceberg are the things that only that that the things that are being seen by someone who are not really knowledgeable of the technique. For example, splash, recovery arm, breathing to the side, looking smooth on top. Okay. So you probably are trying to like look smooth, above the water. You're like smooth. Coach, I look smooth on that video. How come I'm not getting fast? Okay. I'm going to show you an example here. Okay. So here's an example. We have an athlete here. And basically, she said here, I see that my left arm crosses over, my head comes up a little high, my legs spread too far. A lot of these things are like things that he's seeing above the water. Okay. I see this one crossover splashing. All right. What he didn't know, I told him my feedback is what I saw under the water. I want us to fix this particular one. That's under the water. Okay. And mainly because there's a lot that you may see. And your friends might be saying, hey, fix this, fix that, fix this. Or you probably have posted. I don't know if you guys see those people who post in the group, okay, like in a free group. Hey, can you give me analysis here? And then you're like 100, more than 100 comments. Fix this, fix this, fix that. Now you end up being overwhelmed, right? With our athletes, they improve in a month without fixing all those things. I have them focus on one main thing that would get the biggest result. And that's what I want for you guys too. I don't want you to be like being all scattered, okay? Because you still have the bike and run. Oh, by the way, you have family and full-time work, right? And then now you guys fix this, fix that. That's not good. All right. So now that's just an example, okay? And so what are those under the water that under the water that you might not see? Dropped elbows, crossover, poor catch mechanics, misaligned pull path, late or rush breathe timing. The timing can also be something that's hard to see because it's really like an expert's eyes who can see that. And in fact, when I do this one on a video, I really do a slow motions. I spend so much time just really frame by frame. I study the video to be able to see those. And then also, I'm not just looking, oh, this body part. No, I'm looking at every part on every frame, like every movement. Okay. And that's how we're going to be able to see them. Sinking legs, core not engaged, no hip drive. Okay. No coordination between breath, rotation, and pull. This is just one of the examples here. So as you can see, I saw how this left arm is catching, how this other palm or other hand, the right hand is entering the water. I see the head. I see the leg. I see so many things in just one frame. Okay. So now let's go here. All right. You can't fix your freestyle by correcting only the part you can see. The real improvements come from fixing the hidden underwater mechanics, and that's what this system teaches you. Okay, I'm gonna show it to you. Why you can't fix technique by feel. Why you can't fix. Um, so there's another athlete says, Coach, is it okay if I don't share my video to you because blah 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 blah? And I said, no, we need to see the video because what you feel may not be true. Because I know that because that was me too, or that is me still. Sometimes I feel something, but it's not true. So like the video is necessary, but I don't want to force you for you to believe it. I'm gonna just share you this. So we talked about this one earlier. What's under the water? Several things, right? Why underwater video changes everything. Because you can't feel these things. You can't guess your way out. Who here who has taken a video, or maybe your coach took a video and like, here you go, I told you, you did it. Oh, damn, I really thought I was doing that. Well, guess what? That was me. I really thought I was doing my fingers like that. Okay. Well, so here you go. I'm gonna be honest to you, even as much experience that I already have, whether that's in person or remote, I wouldn't be able to see it using my naked eyes. I need video. Okay. And a lot of coaches, and I was doing a lot of master swimming back in the days and a lot of in person. Like if I'm only up above the deck, I won't be able to see what's happening under the water. And a lot of master swim, there's nothing bad about the master swim coach, of course, but it's just limited of what they can help you. Or because a lot of the things that happen are under the water. And so when I do only handful times when I do my in person, if there's someone who reach out to me in person, and guess what? I don't stay above the deck because I know if I want result for my athlete, I'm gonna go in the pool with the athlete, okay? Because I'm gonna be under the water. But I'm going to tell you also, I won't be able to see everything. So that's why I still have my video with me. Okay. So that being said, even more, so that's important. So like, let me show you this, but you can see them on video. For example, this athlete here, if I'm in person, even I'm in person, would I be able to actually see that his low back was arched here? Okay. Would I be able to see that he needed to tuck his tailbone or engage his core if I'm just seeing in person, right? That's why it's much better doing this, and even better remotely, because you don't have to meet up with the coach, and because we're all busy. Well, I'm busy, especially, so this one really works for our athletes, and also because they can talk to me anytime, any day of the week, and you can ask more questions. Okay. So the truth lives under the water, and once you see it, you can fix it because you know what to do, you know what to focus on. Okay. So those are little things that you're not going to be able to see. Okay. Now, the next one, video is good, but the next one is feedback. Okay. So those are the things that a lot of athletes are missing out because they are looking at the video. They keep focusing on that video on the YouTube. They lose sight of their own video. Sure, the next day, coach, I'm gonna take a video. So they start watching the video, but they're also still learning freestyle technique, and they're not getting feedback. So they continue to do the same thing without getting feedback, and therefore no one really knows if they're doing it correctly. But oftentimes they reach out to me is mainly because they're stuck. They're not moving forward with their pace. They're still struggling. And mainly because it's either the video, okay, they don't really know freestyle technique, or the feedback, okay? So here you go. How do you know if you're actually fixing your technique? You don't, unless you can see what's happening on a video. Video gives you feedback. Video gives you feedback. It's a data. We want data. We don't want to just feel, okay? But then, okay, but to make meaning out of the video, okay, you'd want an expert's eyes to help you see what you need to focus and the steps to correct it. Okay. So you don't, yeah, sure, there's a video, but if you don't know what you're looking at, it's not going to work, right? And in fact, here, in an ERIC study cited by Train Daly, swimmers who used feedback, especially video, improved compared to a no feedback control group. For example, stroke length by 6 to 7%, swim speed by 3%. Okay, so there's study that, like, we need feedback, and you guys know that feedback is way much better, faster improvement. The next thing is that why are you stuck? Why are you not moving? Because could it be because progress stops where feel no longer matches real? Video reconnects the two. I thought my elbow was high until I saw the footage. Okay. Because you keep believing, oh, I know I'm doing that. I know I'm catching. But until you see the video, then it's a guess. That's where the progress stops. Because you keep believing that that's what you're doing until you actually check it yourself. So if you're one of those that who has not checked, yourself in video, okay, check. And at the end of this one, I'm going to show you of how to do that, okay, without even having a GoPro or without even having another person to do it for you, okay? There's no fancy tech here because I do it myself. It's like $20. Who want to hear about that? I'm going to show you my setup so you can do it yourself. Because if you haven't seen yourself in video, you're losing a lot. You're just like working out, working out, working out. But then how can you fix a freestyle technique when you don't see yourself? You just keep watching the YouTube video. But what's that gonna do? You need to study your freestyle. You need to have an understanding of your freestyle. Okay, so let's move forward. All right, feedback is your superpower. Okay, video allows swimmers to visually identify correct mistakes. Above water cameras miss critical flaws like dropped elbow. So here you go. Here's just examples. Okay, so you guys can see. So here's an athlete under the water video. And what I see here, how the catch works, where the head is at. And these are, like it could be the legs. Okay. So I give them, hey, let's do this one. And then I give them the steps how to correct it as well. Okay. So I'm just giving you examples. And this one's still above the water. But all this once, if you are seeing a swim coach in person, do you really think that the swim coach in person really would catch all the things that a video can catch? Right? Here's another example here. So another example. There you go. So a lot of this one's under the water video. And this one is like wherein I was talking to the athlete itself. Okay. We saw about this one earlier. I said, look down. Okay. Or this one. Okay. So all this once will help you get the video under the water. And then the next thing is feedback. You want that. Okay. The next one here is why one targeted drill is way, way much better rather than doing so many drills without understanding what those drills are. Okay. So muscle memory works both ways. If you repeat a mistake, you're reinforcing it. And guess what? You get really good repeating the wrong pattern. Okay. So here's another studies here. Studies in coaching science show that swimmers who practice one targeted limiter specific drill improves faster than those who cycle through random drills. And that's why when I talk to athletes who reach out to me for a free call, okay, I ask them, all right, so you have been watching YouTube video. Which technique drill have you been doing? Okay, sometimes I learn a lot of things whenever I ask them. So describe me more. Do you know what why you're doing that? Okay, what is it really fixing? Because the thing about it is that we do technique drill to correct a faulty technique. If you're doing a technique drill and you're not knowing or understanding what it's fixing, so why are you doing it? Are you wasting your time? Okay. And then the next thing, if you're doing a technique drill and you don't know or aren't sure if you're actually doing it correctly, so why are you doing it then? Could you be practicing the bad habits, which is not good, right? The wrong drill hard codes inefficiency in your stroke. Little things matter. Even like, for example, right here, I tell my athletes, like, all right, like, don't do that. That will affect your glide because you don't want the glide like that. You want the glide like this. Wrist a little higher than your fingers. Okay. So those little things, like little movements, that's affected. We're talking about seconds here, everyone. Okay. So now I mentioned about technique drills. Okay. You see this house here? There's this crooked foundation, right? This one is super nice. Well, yeah, it's good. It looks stable, right? But there's a crooked foundation here. What do you think is going to happen because of that crooked foundation? Okay. Gonna fall. It's not good. Okay. The drills that you practice becomes the foundation for your freestyle technique. Every movement, okay, every movement you repeat wires a technique pattern into your stroke. And if the structure that technique drills is built on bad habits and wherein no one's checking it, like dropped elbow or poor body position, then every lap that you do back to back, okay, you're just reinforcing the wrong pattern. So my recommendation is before you focus on speed, distance, before you go longer, or before you go start doing your open water skills, my suggestion is for you to build on the right foundation. Hence, that's why I told you guys when I took a break from swimming, before I even go to several laps back to back, I had to check in my technique again. Okay. So technique drills, it's good if you're doing it correctly. If you're doing it bad or wrong or unsure, then I'm not sure about that. That's probably why you're stuck because you keep reinforcing the bad habits. Okay. Next, okay, here you go. The thing that you guys want. The thing that you guys want. All right. Here's our freestyle fix map. Here's what's going to help you solve the steps. I'm giving you the steps so you have the clarity. Okay. And then so you can also see what could be that you're missing. All right. So here you go. Here's the step. First of all, of course, when you swim, oh, feel something off. You want to identify the symptom. Okay. Identify the symptom. So we're on number one. I'm going to move to this one here because this one is much better. Okay. So freestyle fix map, what I just showed you, this is our entire faster freestyle formula. Okay, this is our system. How are we getting our athletes be faster and really go get over that hump in a month? It's because we use this. So I'm showing you the behind the scenes of how we do it. Okay. And no one does it this way in as clear as I'm going to explain to you right now. Freestyle Fix Map is your blueprint for correcting technique without guessing. It shows you exactly what's wrong, why it's happening, and what drill fixes it. Okay. So, for example, number one, first of all, you want to identify what's actually holding back your technique. Okay. Before you can fix your freestyle technique, you need to know the real limiter. So that's where oh, it's filling off. Okay. So you want to ask yourself, do my legs sink? Do I run out of breath? Or do I feel the drag in the water? Does my shoulder fatigue? Does my pace stay the same? Okay. Am I feeling like I'm wobbly or like I'm falling I'm falling, getting out of balance whenever I breathe? Or do I even know what my legs are doing? Okay, so those can be the symptom. So your symptom points directly to the specific technique limiter we need to fix. Okay, so for example, if you say I feel drag in the water, okay, if you start feeling, like you're just really dragging your legs, then your technique limiter is your kicking. Okay. So the next one is that we need to diagnose, okay? Match your symptom to a technique limiter using the freestyle fix map checklist. For example, breathlessness, maybe it's poor exhalation or over rotation. Sinking legs could be weak core or body alignment. Low propulsion, it could be inefficient catch or pull, okay? And a lot of times, this one here, I'm going to go back here. So that's how you diagnose it. Okay, what's the technique limiter? And the next thing, what we do for our athletes is that we assign them the right drill. But assigning them the right drill is just assigning. The next thing, that is the what. What technique drill to do. And guess what? You can likely also find that out with ChatGPT or just Google it. How can I fix my technique limiter, which is sinking legs? And then put it in a long line, right? And you're so resourceful, you're gonna go YouTube, right? Okay, how do you do this technique drill? And then you see that YouTube. Okay. Now the question is that YouTube technique video telling you the step by step of how to do the technique drill? Because the how is very important. And that's what's missing when I was new. And I didn't know how to swim because I was resourceful, so I still am. I use research. How do I fix? I had so much, like almost all the technique, faulty technique. All right, so how do I fix this one? And then I look, and just like what I'm saying to you guys, I got blindsided because no one really told me of how to do it step by step. For example, engage your lats. How do you even engage your lats? How do you feel that? Well, you got to get to the position to engage your lats, right? But no one really talks about that. And that's where doing the right drill or like you know, kick from your glutes. How can you get to the kick from the glutes? How? Okay. Now you want to do the right drill and do it correctly. And a lot of athletes do that. A lot of athletes do that already. But the thing that's missing is this: verify correctness through video feedback or coach review. It can be you. If you feel good and confident of your research and geekiness. I say geekiness because there's a lot of individuals that I've talked to, like 2 years, 1 year, they're still doing YouTube. They look so good, but they're not confident. Okay, because they're still missing. And then that's why they reach out to me. So now, what I want for you guys, video, and the next thing is video feedback. If you go step one, two, three, but you're missing this, then that's likely where the gap is right now. Okay, not kidding. Like seriously, because not a lot of people do this one. Even athletes who actually have qualified and actually finished Kona come to me because they realize, Coach, I've never really done freestyle technique. It's about time. Okay, and it's not like it doesn't matter. And that's what I see. So like if you feel that you have not gone to freestyle technique, don't be embarrassed because there's so many. And that included me. I finished full Ironman and then several full Ironman. I didn't know technique and because no one really told me. Okay, so here you go. I'm gonna go back here. Step two, step three, do the right drill. Verify correctness. This is where most athletes skip. It's the game changer above or under the water. Okay. Use phone in a waterproof case works. Okay. Since you stay here, I'm gonna just share you of how you can do it yourself. Okay, since you're attending this one, if you're getting the replay, then you get this bonus here so that I can make it easier for you. Because I want you to start seeing your your freestyle. Okay, what how to I'm just getting the document, everyone. So here you go. I'm gonna show it to you. And actually, our athlete from Florida, Jan. Hey, Jan, you probably recognize this picture if you're watching the replay. Here you go. You can have a phone and then a pouch. Okay. So you can do that. And sometimes it moves. Okay. So you do this one. And then, so give that a shot. If it still doesn't work, then you can also, my suggestion is that for you to download, put hashtag breathing kickstart. I'll give you a free access to this. Okay, I told you I'm giving you something. I'm gonna give you access to this, wherein you have access to the freestyle breathing kickstart. Put hashtag breathing kickstart. Okay. If you have now access to this, get it because here I'm giving you 7 day plan, 7 day plan with already demo videos, 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. And then here I share how to take your swim video here and then also demo and then how to set up your camera, which is phone. So you're not really doing a GoPro. Okay. So let's go back to that. Is that helpful, everyone? Put freestyle breathing kickstart. That's free right now. That's free right now. I'm telling you guys. Okay, so hopefully I can go back to my presentation. We're almost done here. Okay. Looks like don't know how to swim at all, Rima. Good. Good. I'm glad that you're sharing that. Who here, like Rima, don't know how to swim at all? Where should I? Actually, Rima, the one that I just shared right now, but freestyle breathing kickstart, we can give you an access to that because that has a demo video, and I'm actually in the pool demonstrating step by step. Okay, for athletes, for example, you're still gasping for air. You can kind of swim. You probably, and if you're still gasping for air, you probably have missed some of the basic stuff that freestyle breathing kickstart will still help you. Okay, so all right, good to have everyone. All right, so the next one here, verify correctness, and then compare your footage with the correct technique examples. And then if you have a coach or if I'm your coach, then I can check and then also give you feedback. Okay. All right. The next one is this. This one is very important. So I'm gonna go back to this one here because this one's much prettier. So you got the feedback. And then now the next thing is that you want to reinforce the correct technique to become a habit. So if I give you a feedback or if your coach gave you a feedback, okay? Now you want to correct that. I promise you guys I'm going to give you the structure, okay? A structure of your swimming. If you are serious of doing your freestyle technique, my suggestion is for you to do 3 swim workouts a week. Okay. Why? Because you're developing good habit. And as you know, if you're only doing 1 or 2, it's hard to instill those good habits. All right. And then when you do those uh, swimming, when you do those swim workouts, I wouldn't want you to just do a random workouts. And for our athletes, I don't like them to waste their time. Okay, so I want you guys to be intentional. So here you go. This is our faster freestyle formula. If you are doing, like structuring your workouts, my suggestion, if you can, depending on your schedule, okay, it could be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as much as possible don't clump or put all the swim workouts in one corner like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, And then no swimming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 4 days. Guess what? Okay, that's really hard to instill good habit. You want to at least spread it out. Okay. Now, the next thing is that you would want, okay, my suggestion, and not, it's a suggestion, you can do anything you want, but this is what works for athletes. Okay. And for everyone who I've been coaching remotely, you would want to start with technique first, and then focus on the main technique limiter. Now, the next thing, now you get a feedback. When if you're my athlete, then you get a feedback. The next workout on your warm up, my suggestion is for you to do the technique correction because I've given you a feedback. Okay, you'd be able to apply that on the warm up rather than just, oh, I'm just gonna do kick. Well, like you need to fix that technique, faulty technique first, and you have a feedback, then focus on that on the warm up. I'm gonna tell you also, I'm gonna tell you also that doing technique only is not good. Okay, so because that's zone one, zone two. And again, it depends on the level of the athletes. We have athletes like the very beginner. I'm not really having them push on the speed or pacing just yet. I'm having them focus on a lot full on freestyle technique. But if you're the type like you've done sprint or Olympic or 70.3 or full Ironman, then this one will be the structure of your workouts. So you do the freestyle correction technique as a warm up, and then the main portion, that's wherein you do the speed work. Doing sprint is not just the speed, okay? Yeah, the speed here is mainly about pacing as well. Next, the third swim workout, you would want, well, if you have more time, you can do four swim workouts. But if you only have, three times, then my suggestion is that combine endurance and open water skills. So this one is the long swim. My suggestion is that start also incorporating the open water skills. Okay, is that helpful, everyone? And then, if you guys have questions for triathletes out there that you also want to do bike and run, put it under a comment, reach out to me on Facebook, okay? And then ask those questions. I can give you a little bit more detail because I would need to know what really is happening with your life. I can't just like, hey, do this. Okay, it's not going to be helpful. But if you have more question of how to structure that, depending on like, for example, hey, coach, how about if I'm traveling? How am I going to do this one? All those questions, reach out to me in Facebook, or just comment under and then tell me how to connect with you. Because if you're in YouTube, it's kind of hard at times. Okay. All right. So the next one, once you reinforce the correct technique by following what I just told you, doing it during a warm up, the next thing is that, as I mentioned, you work on speed, endurance, and open water skills. Why? Because guess what? You may not be able to do your freestyle technique when you're going for speed. So now, if you start slowing down, let's just say, okay, I did the technique. Now I'm going to do 200 or 400. Do you really think you can hold the technique that long right away? Right? You would need to build up with the distance as well, wherein you're actually focusing. For example, 50. I can hold the technique for 50 yards or 50 meters. And then you build up 100 or 200. And same thing with the speed. Whether that's sprint, tempo, or endurance, that also matters. And of course, you would want open water skills. As you guys can see, there's steps here. So that's why I'm strongly recommending to you guys, if you have races next year, okay, this is the time when you want to tackle this, okay, where it's not so near yet, right? So you can focus on it and not feeling overwhelmed that you guys gonna need to go into the volume of the bike and then the run. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna move forward. I'm gonna make it a little faster. Can I really fix my technique without a coach watching me? Well, yes, that's great news. Yes, the Freestyle Fix Map, okay, was designed for swimmers training alone. Here's what the science shows. A study in Psychologica Belgica found that swimmers who received structured video feedback made bigger, longer, lasting gains than those who just repeated drills blindly. Okay, like basically, you have video, you have feedback, you know what to focus on, it works. Okay. And definitely you want to make sure that whoever's giving you feedback is experienced. For us, just swim, one swim analysis doesn't, like it's good one time, but if you think about it, after you do that, there's another thing pop up. You would want to have several swim analysis. So what we do is I give them unlimited swim analysis. Okay. And I doubt you will see another coach who does that because that's a lot of work. And to me, I do that because I'm committed to the result. To get the result is what I'm showing to you right now. Feedback, video analysis, unlimited. And then for athletes who are new with swimming, you know, there's like emotional, mental aspect that affects the freestyle technique. Some athletes get anxious, okay, or nervous just putting their face in the water, or they have trauma, or they had drowning experience before. That's something that is super hard for an athlete to actually get just like from a 1 hour swim coach in person, because you would want constant communication, feedback, right? And support whenever you feel something, whether that's emotionally and mentally. All right. And we have athletes actually, wanting to qualify for world championship 70.3 or be top of the age group. Same thing, pressure. Okay. And sometimes it's the swim that holds them back. All right. So here he goes. This is an athlete, remote coaching, fifth swim workout, first open water swim. So he said 2 weeks ago, I could only swim 25 meters in the pool. And if when I go back here, okay, guess what? He's swimming, and hopefully the video comes up. Here you go. That's him swimming after 2 weeks, after doing what I asked him to do. And as you guys can see, he started talking technically. I noticed I was able to go 8 to 9 strokes. Okay. This is real results. What happens when you fix breathing and body position. Is that good, everyone? So this is not the only one. Okay, so you've already seen why most swimmers stay stuck. They can't see their underwater limiters. They repeat the wrong patterns without realizing it. They're doing drills that don't match their real limiter. They're guessing instead of correcting. Okay, so this is why the method works, because it identifies the actual limiter. It shows you exactly what to fix under the water. It gives you the right step by step drill for that limiter. It builds correct patterns. The thing about it is that you need the right target. You need the right focus and the steps how to do it and know that it's working. Here's the bottom line. Yeah, I think, let me see the time. We went over. I got a lot of this here. Why do you want to do this freestyle technique? Because it gives you speed and confidence. So a lot of athletes like, Coach, I can't go to the open water. Okay. My confidence. Well, guess what? Confidence, you can increase that if you are competent. And you are competent if you know what exactly you're doing. If you don't understand freestyle technique, how can you be competent and how can you be confident? But if you get it here, just like Rohit here, okay, for him, he was able to go to open water swim. It wasn't about the mindset because we fix his rotation and glide. When he started doing that, guess what? He starts being able to breathe well in open water, and that actually improve his open water confidence. Okay. Some other athletes, for example, sinking legs. If you fix the sinking legs, okay, then you won't be working hard in dragging your legs. That's work. And if you fix that sinking legs and go up, you will gain more speed, free speed. That is not about doing more workout, it's about doing the right workout. Okay. So that's just one of our athletes here who used to be at 235. Guess what? He got himself to 147 and did. He's now also an ultra marathoner. Oh, ultra marathon swimmer. Sorry, marathon swimmer. Here are the other individuals who are able to do it in a month, because that's our program, in a month. And even like, for example, this athlete here who can only do 10 yards without stopping. Okay. In just a month, you can do that. Even this athlete here, like can every 25 yards swimming nonstop easily. So they both used to stop every 25 yards and now able to do nonstop easily. And guess what? This athlete here became an Ironman within in less than a year. For once she actually was able to conquer that freestyle technique and got that swimming, like something that she thought it was impossible, and she did that in 5 weeks. She said, "Coach, can I do an Ironman?" And she did it in less than a year. Is is swimming the thing that's making you nervous for your 70.3 or your full Ironman? What if this is the time that you worked on it and that swimming is not your limiting sport anymore, and you it boosts your confidence? Wouldn't it be that you'll be like, I can't do anything now because I thought that thing swimming that I thought was impossible, that I was gasping for air, that I just like I can't do it. I don't have the speed. I'm working so hard. I'm more frustrated. But if you were able to solve your swimming by going after this freestyle technique, wouldn't that be like anything is possible now? All right. So just think about that. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys. Okay. So if you do get a lot from this, put hashtag value. If there's any additional question that pop up, please do not be shy. Just put on the comment because I'm gonna look at that. I don't want to just create any training, whether that's in YouTube, whether that's in any other social media platform. I want to create something that you really want. Okay, so put under the comment any questions there. And if there's any question that, coach, I really want to talk to you, just put hashtag game plan and we can talk. We're in it's face to face. That's free. Okay. And I'm not gonna pitch anything either. Okay, because we are very strict also of who we accept. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have. How do I fix my freestyle technique? I hope you got a lot today. And if you're listening to the replay right now and you know that another friend will benefit it, share it because this replay will only be up for a week. Later, everyone. Have a great week. Bye.